What's going on, everybody? My name is Hassiem Muhammad, and you are listening to The Actor's Instrument, where we discuss the essential qualities you need to stand out in the entertainment industry. We hope you enjoy this clip from one of our recent episodes. Now, let's get back to the audiobooks.
Yeah.
So this is currently where you're making the bulk of your income.
Mhm.
If somebody's looking to start, what's the first thing you tell them?
The first thing I would say is stop and listen to audiobooks. Really spend go on a deep dive and listen to a gamut, listen to a wide range, listen to really established narrators who are kind of top tier, audio award winning names in the industry, and then also listen to new up and coming narrators. Because that'll give you a good ear for what is kind of the taste right now, because taste, of course, changes every 5 or 6 years. There's a rollover in style and what works in the mic. You'll get a taste for that, and you'll also get a taste for what's kind of on the rise. That's the big thing. I kind of when I started narrating audiobooks, and I'll talk more about it as we go on. I took the long road in many ways. Um, but it wasn't until I was narrating for about a year or 2, very part-time, very haphazardly, that I really sat down and was like, "I need to engage as a participant in this medium and listen a lot more," and really that's where I learned a lot about pacing and about energy in the booth, was just listening to other. I mean, it's like sitting in a rehearsal hall and watching really good actors work. You learn so much from that experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's a trap I fall into sometimes when I try new things is because I pick up things very quickly. I tend to skip the step of, like you said, observing and, you know, regardless of how good you are at the start, having a true beginner's mind. If and for my listeners out there who are listening to you, Josh, like that's his voice, guys. Like he's not putting on, this is not his narrator voice. That's how he sounds.
My NPR voice.
Um,
No, that phrase, you having a beginner's mind, that's something that I do have to remind myself, and I think it's a challenge for actors who are a little bit more established in their career who switch to this work, is really finding that student's mind again, because you're using a skill set and a tool set that you're used to using and you're good at using, and you're gonna have to learn how to use it a little differently in the booth, obviously, because it's a different medium, it's a different audience, but there's a lot that comes with, just networking and getting to know, starting over again at the bottom and working your way up, that really, that beginner's mindset is a good way to approach it.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of your incredible voice, does one need an interesting voice to get started? Like, do they need to sound like a narrator, whatever that means?
I don't think so. I mean, a lot of the challenge that I've found is finding what your voice is, because voices, I mean, every voice is different, and what works for you and what is your vibe might be totally foreign to another narrator. In fact, it's funny, now when I'm on set, I used to kind of be like, "Oh, this is cool." I'd always, at some point, a sound guy will always say, like, "You should be like a radio DJ or something." Now I'm like, "Dang it." I'm trying to get away from that
Mm,
stylized, heightened, and just find what my voice comfortably sounds like. Um,
sure.
but
But
yeah,
hey,
no.
it's working out for you. So, listen, don't fix what's not broken. Um, so okay. So listen to audiobooks.
Yeah.
Uh do I need an agent? Do I need to put together a reel?
Yeah, so, you don't really need an agent. I mean, you can have my for instance, my agent will occasionally rep me for audiobook contracts, but not often, because the truth is, it's not really worth. I'm gonna speak out of turn, because I know that there's an agent out there who's would roll in their grave
No,
for me to say this, but
be honest.
it's not the money that you're making off an audiobook. What your agent's cut would be, it would be more time for them in many ways, I feel like. At least the contracts that I have done with my agent, like, at the end of the day, we finished them and they were like, "You know what? The next time someone reaches out to us, we'll just pass them directly on to you." Um, so I've yeah, kind of like with some really, ultra low budget projects, I'll just deal with the client directly myself, as opposed to making my agent do that work. You do want whether you end up having, like, your demo, your audiobook demo, or what I have found a lot more casting wants in the audiobook production world is they wanna hear clips. They wanna hear, separate clips of this genre, this point of view, this genre, this gender difference, this accent difference, and they want it kinda clearly labeled so they can open up your website and just hear, like, what are 3 samples that you've got loaded? That's where I find a lot more of the trends go.
Thank you so much for tapping into the actor's instrument. Before you go, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a beat. New industry guest interviews drop every Tuesday. Till next time, y'all. Peace.